What is far deadlier than most people realize? Putting feet, legs on dash of car. Obsessed teeth can kill you. Eating a slug. Obviously it's nasty. But kids do stupid shit as dares or even in hazing rituals. Slugs contain parasites that will get into your brain and fucking kill you slowly. Insulin. Looking at drops on a table you can barely tell the difference between the therapeutic dose and a lethal one. Edit: if anyone can find the actual image of 2 doses of insulin on a table, I'd super appreciate it. I was going to post the link for reference but I couldn't find it. Fights. People are way too eager to prove who's the bigger badass. Hit someone the wrong way or start something with the wrong person and someone's not going home. Then if the police show up, someone's getting charged, depending on the severity of the other party's injuries and the word of witnesses. You could be going away for a very long time. Not to mention the civil suites that may bury you in debt. Garage door springs. They will kill you. Stress. Cars. Very interesting how much society has normalized the dangers of the road. We often say things like, "You're more likely to die in a car accident than blank," which is intended to make blank seem safe. But it really tells us how many people are dying in car accidents all the time. Trucker here. I've had 2 blood clots in my legs from driving long distances and having my leg pressed against the corner of the seat for hours on end. One almost killed me. Apparently it's very common with truckers. You're supposed to stop and walk around every hour and a half to keep things circulating, which almost nobody does due to time constraints. The same thing happens in gaming chairs apparently. People forget to move their legs because they're so focused on the game. You don't need to worry so much if you're younger. But if you're a gamer who's a little older, please be aware. Tylenol. It's actually a lot easier to overdose on than most people realize. And it slowly destroys your liver over a period of days. Not a fun way to die, to put it lightly. Real black licorice root extract contains the natural sweetener glycyrrhizin, which is over 50 times sweeter than sucrose. This ingredient has various pharmaceutical properties. It acts as an expectorant, facilitating removal of mucus from the lungs by coughing, and it increases blood pressure. The latter effect can become significant with a daily consumption of 50 grams or more of licorice candy for as little as 2 weeks. Glycyrrhizin can cause potassium levels in the body to fall, triggering abnormal heart rhythms, as well as high blood pressure, edema, swelling, lethargy, and congestive heart failure in some people. Posted safety precautions. When there are signs saying something, lots ignore thinking they know better. I used to work IT for a place that makes big tractors. Different stations are restricted from using certain PPE. One day this lady was wearing the wrong gloves. Her station is only supposed to use latex. She didn't take that seriously and wore thicker reinforced gloves. She was using the lugnet machine that tightens 12 giant lugs at once. Her glove got caught and instead of ripping the fingertip off of her latex glove, it ripped her thumb right the fuck off her hand. I witnessed it and her mistake haunts me to this day. They had to restrain her while 2 men held her hand up in the air away from her. Her wails and screams were terrifying. All because she ignored a well-placed warning. Edit. Thanks for the awards and upvotes. Never posted anything that received that much attention. Thanks for the dopamine hit. Infections can still fuck you up easily if you don't seek medication attention in time. Engulfment and confined spaces. With confined spaces, people usually don't realize that O2 runs out rather quickly. Engulfment because people probably don't think about essentially drowning in non-liquids. Just want to throw a story out here. I am a dentist. I have a colleague who had a patient that needed a root canal. The patient put it off. He had a vacation coming up. He was going to Alaska in bush country to go hunting. By himself. Now Alaska bush country means you are alone. He was dropped off and his ride wasn't going to come back to pick him up for a week or 2. Well, after his ride left the tooth, he needed to get his root canal on, blew up. Had severe pain and was all alone, no one to help him in the middle of nowhere. This was mid to late 90s, so no cell phone either. Well, his ride came back to pick him up. Finds a dead body. The guy killed himself. He couldn't take the pain anymore. Pain was so bad he couldn't wait the 1 or 2 weeks for his ride to come back. Shot himself, left a suicide note telling his story. Moral of the story: don't put this shit off. There is no pain like tooth pain. Grapefruit juice interacts with a lot of medications and could be very harmful to you depending on the medications you take. Horses. They weigh 1,200 pounds. They're extremely jittery. And they can crush you or kick you to death on accident. And that's just horses in general. Stallions will try to hurt you just to assert dominance. And these are animals that have been known to bite each other's throats out when they fight. Don't mess with horses unless you know what you're doing. Always be careful, even if you do. Falling down. A single mild fall can easily kill you if you happen to land just right. Usually on the back of your head. Holding your breath while scuba diving. To most people who don't scuba dive it may sound harmless, but if you hold your breath and ascend even a little over a meter you can suffer major lung damage as a result of the gas in your lungs expanding from the lessening pressure. Get that UTI handled or get a nasty kidney infection. Quitting antidepressants cold turkey after regular use. P.S. Did cold turkey Prozac. Olanzapine. Right now tapering Lexapro, escitalopram from 20 mg to 2.5 mg now. And worst evil cold turkey of all time awards goes to benzodiazepines and pregabalin, Lyrica. Took clonazepam always. Quitting these medicines cold turkey 99% of the time gives you a seizure. I had 2. But guess what, I'm already epileptic. So more seizures, yay. Thank you for awards and upvotes. Peas. People saying taking antidepressants at first place is bad for you. No. It's not. It saved my life. I didn't know I had depression. But I stopped eating. Had extreme stomach issues. Gas. Acid reflux etc. Lost 15 kilograms weight in 30 days. Stopped eating at all. I have seen 5 gastroenterologists. So many tests like endoscopy, colonoscopy, liver function, blood, stools etc. Everything was normal. Suffered whole year. I was close to death. Then I was recommended a psychiatrist. She told I have somatization. Meds started working from day first. I felt happy and started to eat. Gained all that weight back in again 1 month. That weight losing and gaining thing was like some Christian Bale thing. Haha. Standing under waterfalls. Edit to elaborate. Loose rocks or debris from the river or stream above could fall and crush you. I'm still amazed whenever I go to a cleaning products section and see bleach and ammonia just chilling together. Like, that's a WW1 chemical weapon waiting to happen. Edit. You, unkind potato left a comment you should check that uses all the science. It's chloramine, not chlorine gas. And there's even a possibility of deadly hydrazine if there's enough ammonia. Science is fun. Touching shit inside a guitar amp can fuck you up really bad. It holds a charge. And it all comes out at once if you touch the wrong spot. Doing cocaine on birth control pills. Seen 20-somethings wind up with strokes and DVTs. Visine. People seem to have this idea that a few drops of Visine in someone's drink will give them diarrhea. And do it to prank each other. Or get some sort of satisfaction with petty revenge. People are sitting in prison for murder for doing this. The main active ingredient is called tetrahydrozoline. Once it enters your gastrointestinal tract, it can be absorbed by your intestines and end up in your blood, causing your blood pressure and heart rate to drop to potentially life-threatening levels. It really makes me wonder how many people have died due to people copycatting that scene in Wedding Crashers. Smoke. It's not only the fire that can kill you. And there is a very good reason you're taught to stay low escaping a fire. The smoke is a hot gas layer that can melt your face off. Edit. Since this comment has some visibility, I'm going to use it for a public safety announcement. A working smoke alarm is the single most effective fire safety tool you can have. By far. Early warning will save your life. Most fatal fires happen in the middle of the night when families are asleep. The difference between life and death are only minutes apart. If you have smoke alarms in your house, make sure they're on every level. And test them regularly. If you haven't done in a while, do it now. If you don't have smoke alarms on every level of your home, go out and buy them. Your life is worth the money. Windows. It's easy to think they're more secure than they actually are, which is especially dangerous in taller buildings. Falling through a broken window has a very high risk of a major laceration. Broken glass on the floor can again mess your body up spectacularly. And on certain surfaces it's really hard to spot even moderately sized razor-sharp pieces. Edit. LPT for those living in areas that are earthquake-prone. Keep a pair of slippers or sandals by your bedside. If there is an earthquake during the night, the chances are you will have picture frames that fell and shattered around your home. And you should have something hard-soled to walk on in that situation. Edit 2. Be a thoughtful human. If you break something made from glass, don't just toss the broken glass. Put it into a cardboard box. Tape it so it's sealed. And write, "Broken glass," on the box. My parents use layers of newspaper and tape it up. You have no idea who might handle the bag with your rubbish in. Table corners. Particularly low tables, you fall farther before striking the table, giving a greater impact force. For similar reasons, hard surface floors that are prone to be damp. E.g. tiled floor in a shower. This applies especially if the shower has a nice little built-up threshold between it and the rest of the bathroom. Experience this one firsthand stepping into a shower in a hotel room. Update. Wow, this has blown up. Please, stay safe, friends. Shift work. The disturbance in your circadian rhythm takes years off your life. Hippos. They kill more people in Africa than lions do. Alcoholism. It's all, teehee. Mommy needs her wine. And, look at this sunscreen bottle that doubles as a secret flask. Until your liver gives out in your mid-40s. It's sad that our culture has made alcoholism into some type of cute joke instead of recognizing how much it can destroy your body and life. And the lives of those around you. Liquid oxygen. It allows fire to reach such insane heat that it will burn through steel. Not melt. Burn. Essential oils. Do not put them in your food. They are not made to be food safe. Birthdays. You are 8% more likely to die on your birthday than on any other day of the year. Weirs. It's amazing how many people play around them or swim just upstream of them. Almost no one knows the bottom of them is a death trap of rotating undercurrent, and almost no one knows how to escape one if you do get stuck in it. Even if you do know how to get out, you'll have a hell of a time of it. If a kid gets stuck in one, they're as good as dead. As is anyone who goes in to save them. Very few actually have warnings around them. If you unluckily get trapped in one, try to swim down to the bottom and swim. Claw your way downstream along the bottom a ways and then swim up to the surface. Example. 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 They're called low-head dams or run-of-the-river dams in some parts of the world. Sometimes warning signs for them will just say dam. Keep in mind this danger is present anytime water is flowing shallow and fast over the top of something into deeper water at an angle. Even a large rock or fallen tree that has water running over it can create the same underwater trap. Medication. Those dosages on the labels are not just suggestions. Y'all. Eating disorders. They are the second deadliest mental illness next to opioid addiction. Edit. Some sources. One citation of this figure. As some users have pointed out, it gets kind of complicated when you factor in suicide, co-occurring mental disorders, etc. But regardless of the exact percentage, a significant number of people with eating disorders do end up dying as a result of their mental illness. Yes, opioid addiction is a mental illness. According to the DSM-V, being dependent on opioids does not mean you have a mental illness. But having a compulsive pattern of substance abuse is considered by the American Psychiatric Association and many other international health organizations to be a mental illness. Going for runs on the roads at night without wearing lights or reflectors. Oftentimes people even wear black. They think that just because they can see the car that the car can see them. It only takes one accident to change someone's life completely. Acetaminophen. It's rough on your liver in large doses. I know a lot of people who ignore the recommended dose and pop them like they are Skittles for pain. This is incredibly dangerous. Leaving potatoes for too long produces solanine gas that can kill. Choking during sex. There are right and wrong way to do it. And people definitely don't realize they're doing it the wrong way. Toxic relationships. Far too many suicides happen because of bad relationships and no other way out. Touch-screen consoles in cars. Mazda now disables touch functionality in their vehicles because they found that when drivers interact with the touchscreen they drift the vehicle to the right. Taking your eyes off the road to press 3 buttons in 3 different positions on the touchscreen, with a latency each time you press a button, because your seat heaters are literally burning your ass. While trying to maintain control of the vehicle during freeway traffic is goddamn dangerous. Sitting for long lengths of time. Edit. This got a bit more popular than expected. To elaborate, recent studies have shown that prolonged sitting can be linked to heart disease, type 2 diabetes, depression and some cancers. Generally getting up and walking around every 1 to 2 hours is a good thing. This is the Australian governmental advice page. And here's the British NHS advice. Deer, over 120 people a year die from deer directly. And another 175 to 200 from car accidents caused by deer, with some 10,000 injuries. And more deaths and injuries related to deer hunting. By the way, deer are pretty mean and terrible parents. I have seen a deer push her fawn ahead of her near the food, to see if there is a predator. Then, if the fawn is okay, go out and hit the fawn to get at the food herself. In a single year, there are 25 more deaths caused by pens than deaths caused by sharks. Everyone has at least one pen in his pencil case. But nobody has a shark in his pencil case. Mental abuse at any age. It doesn't matter if you think it's a joke or if others are doing it too. You have no idea what people are going through, and that one comment could be what pushes them over the edge. Even more so if it's a comment on something they are insecure about, or if you're not the only one saying it, or if it's repetitive. Constipation. As an RN, I've seen too many people almost die from bowel obstructions. If you haven't pooped in a week, I'd be very concerned if I were you. Edit. How not to die from your own shit. Water plus fiber. Too little water, you die. Too little fiber, you die. Balance is key. Exercise. Stella got her groove back, but you can't get your intestines back when they're necrotic. Edit. And of course, in true Reddit fashion, my highest upvoted comment is about literally dying from shit. You little shits. Thank you for the awards. I love you. Giving birth. Anything to do with the thyroid. It's a bit more well known nowadays. But when I first was diagnosed with Hashimoto's thyroiditis, they told me it was hypothyroidism at first. I didn't even know what the thyroid was. For people who might not know, the thyroid is a butterfly-shaped gland in your throat. Without getting into it too much, it releases hormones that regulate many things. You wouldn't expect this tiny little organ to be so important. But holy crap, it is. I found out I had thyroid issues when I was 15 after I was constantly tired. Had irregular periods. I've gone 2 months without a period before. My weight was out of whack. My mental health was constantly declining. And I had issues with breathing, among other symptoms. Apparently, if I hadn't started taking thyroid medication when I did, I would have gone into a coma within 2 weeks. It didn't help that I had a dad who constantly made fun of my weight and appearance, even after finding out I had thyroid issues and learning how hard it was for me to lose weight. Turns out, his 2 sisters had hypothyroidism and his brother had hyperthyroidism. It took quite a few years to finally find hormonal balance, and I'm 20 now. But I'm doing a lot better than I was before. Physically and mentally. Edit. Thank you all so much for telling me your stories and experiences. It's made me smile seeing that you guys are recovered. I'm not good with words, and there's probably a lot I'm not expressing. But the test they do to check your thyroid, lymph nodes is painless and easy. There's a lot that can happen due to these glands. So have your doctor check if they don't do it automatically. You can never ask too many questions when it comes to your health. Smiley face. I wish everyone here the best. Orange heart, blue heart, orange heart, blue heart. A Brazilian butt lift, BBL, gives people a figure reminiscent of the Kardashians and is hugely popular for getting that Instagram body. But a paper in the Aesthetic Surgery Journal found that 1 in 3 BBLs resulted in death, making it the world's most dangerous cosmetic procedure. Lack of exercise. Lack of sleep. Increased risk of basically everything you can think of. Not to mention that accidents are far more common when you're tired. The less sleep you get, the shorter your lifespan. Water. Water is fucking dangerous. Oleander, Nerium. In fact, it's one of the most common ornamental plants in Southern California. Planted in people's backyards and along freeways. The only problem is it's one of the most poisonous plants in the world. Toxic compounds include nereocide, oleandroside, and saponins. Cows kills around 20 people a year in the US. And #X200B. You're more likely to be killed by a dog or cow in the US than a shark or crocodile. Here's where the 11 deadliest animals live. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to drop a like. If you would like to see more content like this in the future, subscribe and turn on notifications to be notified about future videos. Now check out one of these interesting videos.